Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Hey Newberry Fishing. We are in the back of the camper again today, doing a little bit different video this time. This is more of like a subscriber request video, I guess. A while back, somebody made the comment when I was doing a video on the back deck that they wanted to see the camper, and I figured eventually I'll just kind of show you guys everything I've been doing over like the past year to this fifth wheel. We bought it actually a little over a year ago, with the intentions of redoing the entire thing and making it livable. I'm a travel nurse. I spend tons of time on the road. I also spend a ton of time on the road fishing. So we wanted to fix up a fifth wheel so that it had all the things that you really get in a house, but in a fifth wheel, because we spend all of our time in it. So I'm going to do a little bit of a walkthrough today. I know a lot of fishermen out there spend a ton of time on the road, a ton of time outdoors, camping, things like that. So, thought you guys might be interested to see the different upgrades that I've done to this thing. Maybe give you guys some ideas to do with your own camper, because you don't have to do all this stuff, but there are some things that I think some people don't think about that I've actually done to a couple campers now that really just make it better for spending a bunch of time on the road, make it more homey. But anyway, I'm going to kind of start walking you guys through here, show you guys all this different stuff, try to brag on it a little bit. But just a reminder before I get started, send your tournament stories into h.newberryfishing@gmail.com for the episodes of Storytime that I do. If you're not familiar with it, those are the episodes where I just tell tournament stories. I don't use any names or anything, not going to embarrass anybody, but just tournament stories so we can talk about them. If I use your story on one of the episodes, then I'll send you some free baits and stuff. But anyway, subscribe to the channel and send stories into that so that I can use them, and then you can get some free stuff out of it. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to walk through the camper here. Alright, so to get started, we are in the back toy hauler area of the camper. This is actually where I film all the videos where I'm talking to the camera and everything. The reason this is actually all back here is because my wife teaches on the road when I'm at travel jobs, and she teaches online back here. This is our little classroom setup, and when it's nice outside and stuff, she can open up the back and see the outside world a little bit, let some of the air in. We actually have the laundry set up back here. That's a combo washer dryer that we get to do our laundry in the camper when we can, when there's not a laundry set up at the campground we're at. But the big change that we did to the toy hauler area back here is this entire wall. So this wasn't here at all when we first got it. This used to just literally be an opening out to the ramp to where you could bring stuff in here for traveling around and put your golf cart in here, whatever. We still actually bring the golf cart with us. We got the tie downs that we left in the floor here, so whenever we're moving, we let the ramp all the way down and we can put the golf cart in here. But what I put in is an entire wall and then the two doors here, and you'll see the cables running down out here, so that we actually have a porch whenever we fold the door down. Super simple to do, at least the porch part. The wall was a little bit of a job because we had to level out the floor down here, because normally it slants off, and make it just a little bit of a stair step out. But put in all new floors. I'll show you the doors here. Just the double interlocking doors. It's got the center lock. These are Anderson patio doors here, which, you know, it locks at the bottom, but so that you have one solid door there, and then this one that locks into it. But show you the cables here. So those cables that I put in that attach to the top of the camper up there actually make it to where when the camper's level, all you have to do is fold out that porch area and it's level. You don't have to support it, attach it to the ground or anything. All you have to do is just let it down. It's ready to go. Doesn't matter what's under it. You just fold it out and you've got a porch. So that probably is my favorite add-on that we did to the camper, and possibly the cheapest. I think the cables and everything to do that cost like $50, I think, total. Maybe 50, 70, something like that. The doors were pretty expensive, which they're actually some pretty nice patio doors. They've got the slide down screen area here that hides away, and then you can just pop it right back up and it goes back to the glass there. But yeah, the wall and everything is my favorite thing that we added on to the camper, but it took a while. So aside from the wall and everything we put in, really we just put in flooring back here and just made sure that we still had the tie down so that we could still get our golf cart in here. To the living room / kitchen area. I guess we'll start out over on this side over here. Put in a little coffee bar area, all that stuff, when we tore everything out. So this used to just all be one couch down through here. It was way too big, really kind of was, it didn't even use the area very well, because if you're living in a camper, you don't need a 12-foot couch. I think the slide's like 11 feet long, so you didn't need a couch that big. So we tore it all out, put in a new couch, one that's a little bit more comfortable also. Made it to where we had areas to put in some stuff on each end, make it look a little nicer in here. And there's also storage under that couch. So that's a kind of a big thing when you're living on the road, is it's always nice to have extra storage places. So if you can buy a couch that has some type of storage under it, I would say always do that. And that's what we did here. Every single one of those is a storage compartment underneath it. And then if you look, I guess at this is a big picture, which we also did the siding to all the slides with actual wood, replaced all that stuff. But if you look right up there, that is a projector. So when you look around in here, there's not really a good place for a TV. They've got one for a place for just a small TV up there. But we thought if we put it in a projector, then we don't have to stare awkwardly up at the corner if we're watching a movie or something. So up here, that is where we put in our projector screen, so that if we're wanting to watch a movie or anything, we literally just pull that down. Whoops, let me turn this thing off. You just pull that thing down, turn the projector on, you can watch a movie, kind of closes off this area from the other side of the kitchen, and it looks nice. And it folds away really nice too, so the rest of the time you don't even have to worry about it. And really, all we had to do to add that on, we actually redid that entire piece of wood up there is something that we put in. There was something made out of particle board there when we bought it, which we wanted to make it match the countertops that we put in. So we put that up there, and then it just so happened that a projector screen mounted to it perfectly. So it worked out pretty well. We also redid the lights up there. All this stuff is not necessarily things that you have to do when you're redoing a camper or doing add-ons, but we literally bought this with the intention of tearing everything out and making it a more livable, homey-looking fifth wheel. It's a 2013. It was still kind of the dark colors that make it look small. We wanted to buy it, paint it white, make it look bigger, and also expand some things. So that brings me to the next thing that we did here. This island has actually been completely redone. The original one that was in here was made like most camper islands are. It was really short. A lot of camper, really anything in a camper is made smaller than it is in a house. So a lot of their countertops and stuff are lower. So we raised the entire thing up 3 or 4 inches and then expanded it this way, which I'll show you this end, what's under here in a minute. But the sink is actually a full-size residential double sink, residential faucet. My wife wanted a big sink, so I gave her a big sink. And we got just kind of the inset dish soap there. And this thing that we have on the side here is actually a table. So there's not really, another thing that there wasn't really room for in here was a good place for a kitchen table. So this actually just folds up nicely like that. I'm going to see what I can do with one hand here. So I made some table legs that hid away nicely. There's little latches here. And table legs come out of there. I'll see if I can get this thing up with one hand. There we go. And then there's obviously another one on the other side that I just hid away there that I won't be able to get to one-handed. But that is what the big piece of wood hanging on the side of the island is. So we'll bring this around to the other end here. Probably my second favorite add-on. I've actually done this to 2 campers now. I did it to the last camper that we lived in, and I've also done it to this one now. The last one we actually had to put a smaller one in, and then in this one, when we were redoing the island, I knew based on what had happened last time that I needed to also raise the island to accommodate a bigger dishwasher. So a residential dishwasher is made to the size that countertops are in houses, so you have to modify your camper island or countertops or whatever to actually fit one in here. But this is a residential size dishwasher. Got some dirty dishes in there, but works great. Actually, they're not too difficult to put into a camper. It's really just splicing into some of the camper lines and then getting really the island big enough to accommodate it. There are some smaller dishwashers out there, but it's very difficult to find them. It's way easier when you can make it work with a bigger dishwasher. Really what I did to the island here, like I said, I rose the island up 3 or 4 inches. You can see above the cabinet doors there. That's actually the portion that I added onto the island, and then I added this entire end of the island on so that it would fit this. We actually, when we bought the camper, we knew we were going to do this. So I tore out the island, bought a dishwasher, and then built the island around it so that I knew the exact size I had to make. And if you're familiar with one of the hurdles that you have to get over when you're doing things like this to a camper is that the slides still have to be able to come in. So the amount of area I was working with is pretty much that right there. I had to put the dishwasher, we literally had maybe an inch of leeway in there. So that slide actually comes right over to the edge of the island there. Fits in perfectly. And also something you have to think about when you're making the countertops bigger is that you have to make sure that stuff doesn't hit, which is why I did this little weird design on the other end here, is because that fridge has to come all the way over to there. So the next thing is the refrigerator. A lot of fifth wheels campers come with camper fridges in them. They're tiny. They do not work on the road because you don't want to be constantly running back and forth to the store. You want to be able to actually have a full-size refrigerator. If you tear the one that's in out, most of the time they will fit a full-size refrigerator in. I say that if you have just a regular travel trailer, you're probably not going to be able to fit a refrigerator in it, but most fifth wheels can accommodate a full-size refrigerator. Also, what we did is added in a new stovetop, just bigger burners and stuff, a little bit more accommodating to somebody that's living in it, something that we wanted. Just, some extra odds and ends around here. Redid the backsplash there with some, that's not real tile, that's stick-on subway tile, but looks nice and works with the camper. And then we've got our toaster oven that's multifunctional, does baking and everything. My wife bakes whatever she wants to in there. Most people want a full-size oven, I guess, in a lot of the campers that they get. You don't need to. You really just need a small toaster oven. A lot of camper ovens don't work very well. We had one in our last one, we barely used it, and we ended up using a toaster oven most of the time. So on this one, we were not thinking at all that we were going to try to put an oven in here. We knew that all we needed was a good toaster oven, and you're good to go. And then you can fit your microwave in there and your stovetop, and it's perfect. So I think that does it for the living room. We obviously redid the stairs. We made a little cubby hole down here. That's our electronic vacuum. So you set it to take off once every a couple times a day, I guess. We got our dog that sheds hair everywhere. So it's always nice to have a vacuum. The last one we actually hid under our couch, which our couch is in the slide now. So we had to find a place where we could put it. So I cut a little hole out under the stairs, and it hides itself down there. And I put the docking station for it actually up under there. So whenever it's done vacuuming, it just tucks itself back under the stairs. On to the bathroom here. We actually, again, same as the rest of the camper, we redid all the flooring. Put the LVP in here. Did new countertops in here also. New sink, new faucet. Just to make it match everything, make it look a little better. As anybody knows that lives in a camper, storage is everything. Having plenty of shelves is everything. We added all these shelves on down each side of this. This used to just be literally just a singular cabinet with no shelves on the side of it. Added that stuff in, then we added this whole little shelving unit on back here, so we've got a little bit more storage. Going into the bedroom here, we did a little bit of work in here also. Same as everywhere else, repainted flooring, obviously, edge of the slides. What we did mainly over here is we had to modify the storage a little bit because they had a really small dresser, like 3 tiny drawers in between here, and then one of these closets on each side. What we did is we just tore out that side of the closet and got a full-size dresser to put in here. It was actually a little bit too tall, so I shaved the shaved the bottom off of it down here so that it would slide in nicely. And I guess that brings me to another thing with campers is, I guess a lot of people that I've talked to about what we do with ours and stuff is that they're kind of afraid to go tearing into different things on a camper, afraid to tear some of this stuff out. If you're not familiar with them, campers are made of mostly just particle board. Like the counters, the everything is just particle board. So if you have a chance, especially some of this stuff down low, if you have a chance to replace it with real wood, do it, because anything by a sink like that might get a drop of water on it or something, if it gets water on it, it's ruined. And you don't get it dried up quickly, that particle board will absorb every little bit of water that gets into it, and it's ruined. So it never hurts to go through and replace some of that wood or some of that particle board with real wood. So like the entire bottom of this island, while I was redoing it, I changed it out with real wood just in case, because on our last camper, that wood that was down there, eventually, just from spills being around the sink and everything, will get water on it, and you'll have just little spots of it that expand and end up falling apart. Something that we added on here too, they had one of those just stupid little curtains that pulls out right there. We went ahead and put in an actual door because we wanted some actual doors in our camper. I think that pretty much covers the majority of what we did. We redid curtains and all that different stuff, but I don't know, maybe this gave you guys some ideas on what you would do to your camper if you decide to renovate it. Put in a patio in the back, or a porch, whatever you want to call it. Maybe put in some residential size things in your kitchen. That's a really big thing to do. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think the next one that we're going to do will actually be, you see my truck out there. When I'm traveling to fishing tournaments, I actually have in the truck topper in there, I have a bed and my travel setup in there. So I think my next video will be, not my next video, but maybe another one later this week will be a video, and I'll go through that and kind of show you guys some things that I've done to make that livable on the road. Because once I sell this, that's another reason that I'm actually making this video, is that I actually just sold this camper. I finished nearly not too long ago with all these renovations, sold it, and then for a little bit I'm going to be living out of that thing for the extended period of this travel job, and then I'm probably going to get a truck bed camper and we'll go through it. But thanks for watching the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. There will be more camper videos to come.